How in the hell Donald Trump pays $0 in taxes? Whether you think he's a genius or you think he's a criminal, in today's video, I'm gonna share with you how President Donald Trump ended up paying $0 in taxes and how you might also be able to take advantage of some of these same strategies and tax laws for yourself. What's going on, guys? Matt here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to unpack how the heck President Donald Trump was able to pay $0 in taxes despite the millions and tens of millions of dollars supposedly that he reports every year. And to every person that maybe doesn't understand tax code in detail, which is really the majority of people, this seems practically impossible, right? He has to be breaking the law. But then again, is he really? Well, I'll let you make that decision at the end of this video. But before we dive in, don't forget to smash that like button to share the love. And if you're not already, be sure to subscribe to my channel for investing videos on real estate, business entrepreneurship tips, and unlocking financial freedom. Okay, big news this last week as the New York Times broke this story on the Trump controversial tax returns by releasing this article, which basically examined Donald Trump's tax information extending over more than 2 decades, which they reportedly reveal evidence of struggling properties, vast write-offs, an ongoing audit battle, and hundreds of millions of dollars in debt coming due in the near future. This is obviously something they've been trying to get their hands on for quite some time, so this was a pretty big deal. Of course, this sent mainstream and social media into a frenzy. Even celebrities like my guy, 50 Cent, had something to say about it. So how the hell did he do it, 50? Can that actually be right? Well, let's dive in a little bit deeper and actually assess what is going on here and how it relates to you as a business owner and investor. Now, as I share this information with you, I want you to consider 2 things before making a decision on whether you think Trump is a genius or a criminal. And to better help you come to that conclusion, first, I want to share with you the difference between tax avoidance and tax evasion. Tax avoidance is essentially one's ability to legally minimize, keyword there, legally minimize your taxable income by using legitimate tax deductions, setting up tax deferral plans, taking tax credits, using things like depreciation, and many other things legally the tax code allows you to do. Tax evasion is not paying taxes on income that you should be. For example, not reporting income, reporting more expenses than you're legally allowed to, not paying taxes owed, understating your taxable income amount, and so on. Now, I know as a business professional myself who works my ass off for the income that I generate, I want to keep as much of that, rightfully so, in my own pocket as I possibly can instead of giving that to the government. I don't know about you, but I don't always trust how the government spends my money. Of course, I do believe in paying my fair share of taxes and, of course, doing my part, but it's the fair share part that I believe is subjective, and it's really up to each person individually to put in the work and find ways to legally lower their taxable income based on what the tax code allows, which is what many siding with Donald Trump are saying he has done to a T. So first, let me do a simple breakdown on what we do know about the Donald Trump tax returns. Now, before I do, I just want to remind you that I am not a CPA. I am not a tax attorney, so do not take this as advice, and don't forget to smash that like button. I'm sorry, I had to throw that in there. So here's what we do know according to public records and the information the New York Times got their hands on. In 2016 and 17, Trump only paid $750 in federal income tax, and 11 out of the previous 18 years, Donald Trump paid the big goose egg, $0 in federal income tax due to the amount of money that he was reportedly losing. Now, to the average person who really isn't a tax code expert, which most aren't, you might be asking yourself, how is it even possible for someone who is reportedly a multi-billionaire on paper with all of these assets and all of these businesses to his name paying less tax than you are?
How the heck did he do it?
Well, here's a high-level overview. Up until 2004, he didn't need to pay any tax because of something that happened back in 1995. Now, in 1995, Trump reported massive losses of $915.7 million, which gave him a tax deduction that lasted literally almost 20 years. Yes, you heard that correctly. Losses he was able to carry over and over year after year for almost 2 decades. Trump started turning a profit in 2004 and beyond as The Apprentice and many other ancillary income opportunities because of The Apprentice took off. So from 2005 to 2007, Trump reported $120 million in profits, and he had to pay $70 million in federal income taxes, $56.7 million in 2005 and 2006 tax year, and $13.3 million in 2007.
You're fired.
Then, of course, back to doing what he does best. In 2008, paid $0 in federal income taxes. Now, 2009 rolls around, and this is where it starts to get interesting. This is the year that he claimed a tax refund of $70 million in federal tax money, plus the interest that was accrued, which totaled $72.9 million. Wait, what? Yes, so let me back up for you for a quick second. So back in 2009, Trump filed a $700 million loss that he stated was incurred because he abandoned his stake in Atlantic City casinos. That's a whole other story. Then in 2010, Trump used new legislation passed by Obama, which many have dubbed it the Obama Tax Loophole, which basically allowed businesses to use current losses to claim full 100% refunds for federal tax returns in the last 4 years and 50% for the year before that. Now, previously, they could only use losses to claim tax refunds for taxes paid in the previous 2 years, which would have meant Trump's 2009 losses, a very big loss, wouldn't have helped him claw back any of the $56.9 million that he paid in federal taxes in 2005 and 2006. But because of this tax code loophole from Obama, which you know he's thanking Obama for that now, he was allowed to abandon his assets and claim those refunds. Whether that is ethical or not, that's up for debate, but legally, Obama's law allowed him to do that. Now, if you're not familiar with abandonment, basically abandonment is where you literally get to dump and abandon your asset. You don't sell it or get anything back for it, you literally just abandon it. Sounds a little odd and makes no sense as to why you do that unless there was a reason for it. Well, according to the Obama loophole and the American tax system, if you abandon an asset, you can claim back losses from previous years on it. Ah, now it's all starting to make sense. So basically, if Trump abandoned stake in Atlantic casinos in 2009, he could claim back all of the losses he made on it in the years before, which is how he claimed his $700 million loss and his ability to recapture $72.9 million. Is this tax evasion and a criminal move on Trump's part, or is this tax avoidance and pure genius to take advantage of what the tax system legally allows? I'm gonna let you decide, but technically, that's still up for debate as Trump is currently under audit today, and if they find any funny business, he'll have to pay back the $70 million plus interest, which could end up being north of $100 million, and he could be subject to criminal charges. The article also notes that many different expenses that were strategically used by Trump to lower his taxable income, many would argue were unethical and illegal. Now, these were fees to corporations and organizations that many of his family members do have direct ties to. However, Trump still claims everything was done legally within the law of the tax code. In addition to the pending results of these investigations that could have major financial implications for Donald Trump, many people believe the president is really not in as good of a financial position as he says, as other tax returns since 2000 show his golf courses reportedly losing $315.6 million, his businesses reportedly losing $134 million, and his Washington hotel reportedly losing $55 $2.5 million. New York Times also noted that Trump has failed to pay back $287 million in loans since 2010, and to cap it off, he has a total debt of $421 million, $300 million of which is due in the next 4 years. Now, personally, I think Trump has used his wisdom from being in business for so long, and because he has rubbed shoulders with some of the wealthiest people in the world and some of the smartest minds and business professionals. He's had those individuals on his team and around him for decades, and he's really probably just playing the game and using the rules to his advantage. Now, does that make it fair? I don't know, but it also doesn't make it illegal. So, Mr. Trump, what do you have to say about all this?
Income taxes. It's fake news. It's totally fake news. Made up, fake. We went through the same stories. You could have asked me the same questions 4 years ago. I had to litigate this and talk about it. Totally fake news.
Well, time will tell. And whether you like Donald Trump or not, if you're a business owner and investor, there are some simple takeaways and solid lessons in this case study. First, this is a perfect example on how confusing taxes can be for the average person to understand, which is why you should always have professionals on your team doing your taxes, doing your accounting, who understand the ever-changing tax code. This, in my opinion, is imperative. If you want to build real wealth, if you want to become financially free, then having these individuals on your team and literally can mean the difference between paying tens of thousands of dollars, or in Trump's case, millions of dollars. Secondly, this is an extreme example on how convoluted but beneficial our tax code can be for business owners and individuals who understand it at an extremely high level and can take advantage of it legally. Now, the tax code is always changing, and the smartest people on the planet are always studying it in order to find ways to exploit it for people like you and I. And as long as it's done ethically, as long as it's done legally, then I recommend you taking advantage of it too. Which leads me to my last point: do it legally. Key word here. And the way you do tax avoidance legally is through sound tax planning that includes minimizing taxable income, maximizing tax deductions and tax credits, and controlling the timing of income and deductions, along with other strategic planning between businesses and the landscape that you are operating within. Now, this can get pretty complex, but the more money you make, the more you're gonna want to learn these strategies and these loopholes so that they can benefit you too. So that leads me to this. After hearing what you've heard, what do you think? Is Trump a genius, or is he a criminal? Or both? I don't know. I'll leave my comments down below in the comments section. Drop me your answer down below as well. Thanks again for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to smash that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed yet. And don't forget to grab my free real estate investing course. There's a link down below in the show description. Or if you want a free investment portfolio X-ray, don't forget to grab that, as well as other freebies in the show description. Until next video, cheers, my friends.